building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuting my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Down out, I was worth it and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. I had to get over that fear and I had to step up because it's like you can only run for so long. You really can only run for so long, and you have to make a choice at some point. Where do you want to be? And I decided to stop running and step up. You know what I mean? But yeah, you definitely can be in the crossfire of your family. The bloodline, the blood. Blood is life force. That's the source right there. So you are connected, regardless to if you don't want to be or not. The only thing that I have made a point to my ancestors is to be like, I'm not here to fucking clear your shit. I'm here to clear the shit that's tied to me. That is it. I'm not here to take on all the ancestor shit. I'm here to stop what's been going on.
We are so much alike because I have had to say that so many times to my ancestors. Hold up, this is my life. I'm not like, let's work together to overall heal what's going on in the family. Right. But I'm not here to take on your other stuff. Get somebody else to do it. No. Because and I'm saying this to anybody that's listening. I'm saying this as you're saying this because these are things that I myself, when I sit back and I'm like, when I start meeting family and just thinking, I'm like, man, no wonder this is happening for generations. We don't talk about stuff. Or when I'm sitting and talk, like prime example, when I was talking to my grandmother about certain spiritual stuff and things like that years ago, and she just out the blue was just like, well, you know, your granny used to. Why wouldn't that be something that you talk about? Right. At the beginning, so that we can so these are the things where it's like family, or you'll make a choice in your life to disassociate or to do something and don't realize how it will come back. We are all tied. And I know that's something that we're like, oh, I don't want to be tied to that. Tied to that. And I'm not talking about humanity. I'm specifically talking about your lineage. We are all tied, and you don't really think about something that somebody's done in your ancestry, let alone a cousin in your line that's doing something as well too. And so to me, when I found that out, I was like, things are starting to make sense. So let me. I do a lot of I have focused more on a lot of ancestral, stuff. Like, side note, the Father's Day was the first Father's Day that I honored the male ancestors, that I laid food out for them. And I said, Happy Father's Day, because they had been coming for a while. We talked about the men. And I feel like a lot of times, what have women or divine feminine energy done? This is no judgment. This is reality. To men, to where they have been forced or sad or even just what they haven't done. I feel like as a spiritual person, if you're in a relationship with somebody that's hurting and you haven't offered any type of course they have to do the work, but some type of assistance or knowledge, to help them, it's unfortunate. And so for me, I really was proud of myself because I went to therapy and I realized that my choices, maybe I do have father issues. I thought I just had mother issues. I just have a lot going on all around. But to understand the depths of why you make choices and not realizing how that goes back, I got up, and for the first time, and it felt good because it let me know that I have support, but also that this is something that my ancestors had been waiting for. They were waiting for an opportunity. And there are ancestors that I didn't really get a good relationship. And so we talked about ancestors that are not necessarily good. I always like to speak the words, the ancestors that are known and unknown, but specifically the ancestors that want to help rebuild the line to the greatness that it's supposed to be.
Right.
Everybody wants to use that.
It is. It's a lot, you guys, but and when you look at it, you can kind of spot a lot of karmic patterns. But sometimes it is subconsciously we don't see. That's the beauty of, like, if you do past life. That's why I started doing past life regressions, and that's why I went and got the full certification to do the hypnosis part and do the deep trance part because of the connection, because of that karmic tie, because of the deeper rooted shit that we don't think about, that we don't see. I wish all practitioners went to the core of people, but we know that's not the norm out there. And when you miss those key details, you're going to stay in a loop. um, I think the biggest thing with, for me, enlightenment is just that awareness to not just this 3D. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're people. Yeah, I'm this person here. I think what happens in spirituality is everyone is trying to become the spirit of themselves, and they forget that you are also this person. Your DNA matters. You came in this body for a reason. There's a purpose for you to have chosen, to come through here in this ancestry. I do feel like we stay in the same lines. I do feel like there's something tied to that where we stay in kind of some of the same lines as past lives, but I'm still working on my theory with that. Every time I do past life regressions, I'll kind of see what comes out with people. But I have a theory that some of us stay in the same lines and we come back at some point in the same DNA. Because for me, I do feel like a lot is in the DNA, our blood, that blood carries our pattern. And even to like when I look at some of my past lives to my DNA results, I did an ancestry on ancestry.com. It matches up with a lot of my past life, a lot of my past life energy. So it's pretty trippy on how many things just kind of can show you where you've been. You know what I mean? You can see like the blueprint of where you've been and what you're connected to. And I think it goes hand in hand. Like it really goes hand in hand. But we're off. We're way off the topic today. But but we were meant to talk about.
We were way off. It still fits in there. Love and karmic and
I'm a backtrack. I'm gonna go back to, we were gonna talk about twin flames. And I think it does go hand in hand with relationships though. It definitely does, because even dealing with your twin flame, now you guys know for me, I'm someone who, even if you ask about a twin flame, I'm gonna ask you, why do you want one? Everyone thinks that twin flames are the ultimate soulmate. That's kind of where everybody goes with twin flames. There's a lot of course bullshit that's sold out there on twin flames. You see it. It's, but for me personally, you got to take out the romanticism in your twin flame dynamic. I think you're automatically connected to them, and I think you're automatically attracted to them because of your bond, and you guys have done many lifetimes. And I think more than likely you're attracted to who you knew, the soul that you knew, and you have that attraction. But if you cannot take it there and not go to the romanticism, that will be actually the one person in your corner that not only can help you on this path, but could understand you like nobody else can. And I think those are probably the two main things that I have taken away from the twin flame dynamic, is understanding that part. But most of us fuck up and we go to the romanticism and shit happens and you go through because you're a trigger, they're a trigger. Your healing is important. I don't know how you feel, but I don't think you could be with your twin without being healed. I don't think you guys can come together on a romantic level and be unhealed.
I mean, for me and from my research and things like that, I don't really do twin flame readings as much. But this is how I feel. To me, a twin flame in the root of the twin part is a part of you. Mm-hmm. I feel like the need for that to be romanticized should be thrown out the window, because they are supposed to be a mirror of you returning to yourself. So every time they show up, it's a reminder of what you need to be resonating, what you need to be going back to. If that needs to be romanticized for you to understand the depths of the love that you are and love that you deserve, that's fine. If it needs to be a familiar relationship to realize what you bring to the family or your place ancestral-wise as a family leader or otherwise, then that's what it needs to be. If it's supposed to be great friendship, then let it be that. But it's always the basis of it being part of you. Mm. So in a sense, you are walking a path with the other part of yourself. Right. So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't want it to be romanticized because I really want to be able to see myself. And that's just how I move. And if you're a friend or anything like that, I want to be able to have that type of association where you remind me, where we can have that dialogue where it's like, you need to do better. You need to be better. But I mean, once again, I'm a Capricorn, so everything is hardcore for me. But that's what twin flame is to me. And I had to learn that because I was one of those people where, well, I wasn't one of those people. I was really like, what does twin flame actually mean? Because this is not what it's showing up to me as. Right. And I don't, because at one time I was done with relationships too. But my twin flames do show up in a sense romanticized. But when I got to a flowing place, I realized, man, they did show me that I deserve to be, submissive, that I deserve to release control, that I deserve to feel love, but also reminding me of the love that I can give and the difference in who I am, and just, even if it's just for a moment in these lives that we share, I feel like that's so much better. People always want the instant gratification. I'm not surprised. Right. I'm just always like, well, you're just going to keep dealing with this. But when you're really invested in your purpose of what every relationship and every situation is going to be, you'll see it and you'll let it be what that is. Because they're initially going to either be the love you're supposed to be, not in the way that you think, but in the love that's supposed to stand the test of time, or they're preparing you for the love you're supposed to have.
Right. I definitely, don't like, I met my twin flame before I was in the spiritual path. So for me, I didn't have any awareness on twin flames at all. None of it. I had never heard the term, none of that shit. And I think I spent like 3 years of knowing my twin, trying to prove that he was a karmic. Like 3 years of trying to prove he was a karmic, only to realize that he's not a karmic. For my demons, I accepted my purpose, and the goddess I became.